Welcome, fantasy fans, to Chapter 1 of our journey into the Mall of Illusion, the grand opening. The Mall of Illusion didn't just appear overnight. It didn't fall from the sky, nor did it rise from the ground. It grew, not from stone or steel, but from belief. The moment the first inhabitants stepped inside, the mall became real. The moment they followed its paths, the mall became truth. And the moment they listened, the mall became their world. At the center of it all stood the teacher. He had once been the architect, the one who shaped the very walls surrounding them. But structure alone was not enough. A world must have purpose, a path to follow, a lesson to be learned. And so the architect became the teacher, stepping forward to guide the inhabitants through the world he had built. And on this day, the grand opening, his voice would set their journey into motion. The great pavilion was the heart of the mall. It was here that all paths converged. Beneath a towering glass ceiling reflecting the golden glow of the mall's lights, the inhabitants gathered. They didn't know why they were here. They only knew that this was the way. At the highest point of the pavilion, the teacher stepped forward. His voice was steady, his words practiced, his presence absolute. From nothing, we have built something great. The inhabitants listened. They had heard whispers of before, of a time without the mall, a time when paths were not marked, a time when they wandered without knowing where they were going. Where once there was uncertainty, now there is progress. Where once there was wandering, now there is a path. The inhabitants murmured in agreement. They had no memory of struggling before. But if the teacher said it was so, then surely this was better. Surely this was the way. The mall was not stagnant. It was a place of movement. To rise, one must earn their place. Some worked to serve the structure, ensuring the mall remained full, thriving and efficient. Others sought to climb, proving themselves worthy of higher levels, where greater wisdom and rewards awaited. And still others chased the unseen, believing that if they continued forward, they would one day reach the highest floor. The path upward was the measure of worth, and worth was the measure of existence itself. The teacher did not impose these rules. He only taught, and they believed. And belief was stronger than any command. But beyond the pavilion there were whispers. Some inhabitants wondered if there was something more. They had heard of those who had left, those who had walked beyond the final doors, those who had stepped into the unknown, and they never returned. The teacher warned them, there are those who seek to disrupt the order, those who claim there is something beyond this place. But tell me, what exists beyond structure? Silence. The inhabitants knew the answer: chaos. The system is what protects you, the teacher continued. The walls are what give your life meaning. Do not be swayed by those who seek to return you to nothingness. A shudder ran through the crowd, for they did not know what lay beyond the mall, and those who had left had never returned. Whether they had vanished or been swallowed by the unknown, no one could say, but the fear was enough. And so they remained. As the inhabitants dispersed, the teacher remained standing. He should have felt satisfaction. He should have felt pride. The mall was alive. The system was flourishing. The people believed in the path. And yet, something unsettled him. A quiet thought, a flicker of unease, a whisper that did not come from the inhabitants, but from within himself. He had given them structure. He had given them purpose. But he had also given them fear. And now, for the first time, he wondered, had he done the right thing? As the teacher turned away, his gaze lingered on the farthest edges of the mall. The places where no one ventured, the places where the walls seemed thinner. For a brief moment, he swore he could feel something beyond them. Not chaos, not nothingness, something else, something waiting. But before the thought could take root, he pushed it away, for he was the teacher, and the teacher knew the way, didn't he? End of Chapter 1. If you enjoyed this introduction to the Mall of Illusion, stay tuned for more chapters as we uncover deeper secrets and grander adventures. Until next time, keep believing and keep exploring.